We're gonna go live. We're live. Hello, everyone.
We're live.
What we
Hello.
we have a very brief news segment this week. Somehow we'll manage to twist it into hours
We
of.
we have a brief everything that we're gonna drag out.
Here's the link to the.
This will somehow be our longest show in history.
It will be. It'll be like I think our longest is 3 hours, so this will be like 3:01. Somehow we'll do it. Yeah, but this is our shortest episode, I think, rundown possibly we've had. We just got to think of a weekly poll for next week, and we're good. Um,
Although sometimes I log into Twitter and there's like I have no notifications. And then like sometimes I'll log in and it'll be like boom, everybody's active on your tweets.
I've got a golden ticket. I just read the title of the episode again from last week and thought about that. I wanted to play that at the beginning of the show, but I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get copyrighted maybe. I wanted that to be the intro, like I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden ticket in my hand. Policeman, where to God? How we doing our fantasy leagues this week, guys? I don't know. Is anyone here? Cam, you have fantasy, right? I'm pretty sure it was you and Mike that we were talking, or I was talking to, because Bob doesn't care.
I don't care. Do not. I hate this time of the year.
I hate people enjoying something that I don't enjoy.
Yes. My my coaster Twitter's like it's and all of a sudden becomes all NFL. Like, come on, man.
Yours?
Well, like the people that I follow in
Uh,
the coaster community all of a sudden start talking about NFL a lot.
I'm in 4 fantasy leagues, but this is the first year I've done this many. But one of them is like a co-partner, like a partnership with my brother. So it's not necessarily just my league. This is ridiculous. Yeah.
You're ridiculous.
It's saying log in. It has one of those features where you can log in using Google. And I'm literally logged in Google, so I don't know why it still won't let me sign into this account. I lost in one of my leagues and won in the others, but the game I lost was actually really close. So it was like 103 to 106 or something. Let's see. Russell Wilson got me 27 points. Kamara got me 15. Najee Harris for the Steelers got me 5. He's kind of being a freak. Jarvis Landry got me 15. Chris Godwin got me 15. A.J. Brown got me 10. Tanyan for the Packers laid an egg, but the Packers in general laid an egg, so that makes sense.
Do you want videos that I took that I wasn't talking in, just in case?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can make that a transition, or I can make it a. If that could be one of the overlays where you actually talk about your trip, like the ride you didn't ride that you got on. That could be some of the stock footage you used to.
I don't know if I took any of that ride though, but
That's fine. It doesn't have to be. It could be like just. I ended up getting on it, and it's just footage of the park or whatever. I've got a golden ticket.
I hate hearing my own voice.
I hate hearing it too, Bob. Trust me.
What did you say, James?
I said I hate hearing it too.
I know. Why do people listen to our podcast?
Because they love me. Just kidding. No. They listen to it because they're like, hey, these two idiots are yelling at each other. This is kind of fun. I swear that's why. I can't come to any other conclusion sometimes.
Man,
I'm like, me and Bob, just our
my
chemistry.
video's pretty shaky.
That's why I purchased a camera and a gimbal and a tripod.
I don't have a gimbal, do I?
Yeah, but you guys are all, oh, you were like, you got the camera, and that's why right there, boy.
No, I understand it. I don't do it enough to
But
get
you
a
could.
gimbal.
Hey, wait.
I guess I could.
We'll talk, Bob. We'll talk.
We'll talk? Okay.
We'll talk. I want to off air because it might not come to fruition, but I want to talk at least about it. Why is Pam booing us?
Because she's Pam.
Screw you, Pam. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna kick you out of the chat. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, 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 no. Don't. Damn it.
She'll respond in maybe 20 minutes about why she's booing us.
Yep.
So a weekly poll for this week could be, what is your bucket list golden horse roller coaster? What park do you hope to see a golden horse soon?
Seems legit.
Oh man. Pam's coming out ferocious tonight.
Good lord. All kinds of censoring going on here.
Man, that was bad. Watch this though. I get free for all. The rules don't apply to me. That's not what I meant to do. That's pretty funny though. I'm leaving that. I meant to click search emoji and it just sent that.
Do you want pictures too?
I like that. Yeah, you can insert pictures if you want, just in case I need them. If you get out of bed, that's
Alright. It's all uploading in a directory on the... What's up, Mike? Thought of you writing Joker. Actually, that's right. We made a video for you.
I always think of Mike when I'm riding free spins. It's just a habit now.
Daniel and I actually made a video for Instagram for him.
I saw it, Bob, because I'm on
Did you?
Instagram. You would have seen it too if you're there.
I would have. I actually rode it the next day, and holy shit. The purple side and the green side are night and day differences on that one.
Yeah, there are certain ones where some sides have like those brakes that resist the spinning. And then the one side.
I spun so much on that.
Wait, you hate it? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie. That's how I feel about it. It's a movie. It's such a weird freaking movie, though. You
Pam,
suck,
we're not
Pam.
asking
I'm just
you.
kidding. Middle finger. No, but Malignant, I don't know. That's from the 40 free spins.
That's good. That's gonna be a new thing. Middle finger.
Double middle finger. Double middle finger and the middle toe. I'm gonna do the middle toe too. See if I can do it. Suck that, Pam.
Oh my god. Anybody watching Ted Lasso? I just thought of when they told what's his name to be a prick. You'll know the sign when you see the sign. And they all flipped him off. I was dying.
Is that show with Jason
Sudeikis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sudeikis or whatever?
Oh my god, I love that show so much.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
How have you not watched it?
Because I haven't wanted to yet.
Oh my god. It's so good.
I see you retweeting that Richmond Club. That's the only reason I knew about it, is because I remember it coming out, and I was like, "Oh, it's based in Richmond," and I'm like, "Oh no, it's not. not this Richmond."
Cab, just told him where we're going.
I wonder if there's...
If you get out of bed, I'll never be the same. I think it's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Haha. What is our weekly poll? Do we actually want to do what park do you hope gets a golden lasso soon?
You mean Golden Horse?
Golden lasso. Golden lasso coaster. I was thinking I somehow mixed Ted Lasso and Golden Horse and said Golden Lasso. And then I just went with it. You could be a Golden Lasso clone. What park do you want to see a Wonder Woman Golden Lasso clone at? I like that I somehow did that subconsciously, but that's actually already a coaster.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, wait, what? Now I realize where it came from and what you did.
Oh man. I say we think of a weekly poll.
Do you think Golden Horse will improve?
Do you think their involvement in the European and U.S. market will force them to improve? Is that a fair question? I mean, they can't continue producing these cheap, rough, not fun rides. Most people say they're like pretty painful and not fun and just clones. So, is that a fair? I like how I reworded what you said. And you're like, no, well, now that you put it that way, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I guess it does fit. Yeah, sure, do it. Go for it.
Should I say improve ride design or just improve? I mean, I'll put ride design, I guess, because it's not like they need to improve as a company overall. I don't know how they're. I'll just say ride design.
I found the clip of this video. Freaking love it.
The Ted Lasso thing.
This is what I thought of when you guys were doing the middle finger thing.
Oh my god. I can't get to the Nobles rides anymore. It won't let me go. It's saying 503 error.
What?
Service unavailable.
What's unavailable?
Nobles rides. The website.
They just went unavailable?
At my end it is. I don't know what the hell's happening. Can you check? And maybe for you it's still working.
They've already been sued.
Now it's saying 502 bad gateway. I think it might be an error on my side, honestly. I don't know why. That's look on your end. And every other website's working.
Wait, oh no, there it is.
Wait, now it just went up for me too.
It took a while to load.
It went up for me too, like right now, like right when you said that. Oh wait, it looks like they edited it. There wasn't. Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were editing it. I don't know, because now there's a contact page and there wasn't there for me before. Maybe they were in the process of getting that up.
You didn't by any chance come up with a better one, did you?
No.
All right. Hey, Jamie! Jamie!
Sure that there wasn't a contact page before?
Very often, Chris, especially in perfect unison. We apologize.
You said what?
No, there was a contact page before.
Fruity sign language. Seems like Lasso's really settled into our culture. He certainly has.
Oi, Planet, here's what's going to happen, yeah? You're going to foul me, and I'm going to score all the way from back here. It's off the top.
The copyright's 2020. Apparently, this is not new.
Could be newly published.
No, I'm saying it was announced as, oh, a new ride manufacturer. But that was like a year ago.
Glad he's on our team. Hey, what do you think? Trick play? You know, maybe Loki's toboggan or upside down taxi?
You don't need it. The little prick's gonna fucking score from there.
Wait.
All right, are you pretty much ready?
I think so.
I'm excited for King's Dominion night rides, but Grizzly won't be open for Halloween Haunt, so.
What are they opening?
I think pretty much everything else is open but Grizzly. Grizzly's not opening because they have a house right next door, and for some reason they don't want to. You know, the one thing that would actually get people to come back to Grizzly is having a haunted house right next to it, and then people would actually be like, "Hey, Grizzly's here too. Let's ride that." But they're like, "Nah." The one year we actually place something perfectly next to it, we're gonna close it down. But I think everything else is open, but Grizzly pretty much. But Twisted and I-305 are good night rides. Apollo Strait is a great night ride, though. That's probably my second or third favorite night ride in Virginia. All right, so yeah, everything. It looks like everything's open, but Grizzly. Skyflyer, Windseeker, Waveswinger, Twisted, Scrambler, Racer, Intimidator 305, Flying Eagles, Flight of Fear, Drop Tower, Dominator, Dodgems, Delirium, Carousel, the Antique Cars, Berserker, Bad Apple, Backlot Stunt Coaster,
Hey.
Apple's Apple, Anaconda.
Hey, Mike, are you saying that SeaWorld's just not a good experience? I don't understand.
Well, it's a good experience.
Well,
It's like
it
the
depends.
actual, it's getting to the parks and the out-of-park experience, which is terrible.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Well, actually, Hallow Screen didn't really impress me,
Unless you're looking at the prices.
so I guess I'll talk about that. I'll
Yeah,
talk-
BGW fans didn't seem overly impressed either.
It was a pretty disappointing event this year. I did not find it to be that great, and I have always explained how much I love that event. I mean, that's always been one of my favorite Halloween events, and that was, I don't know what the hell that was, but that was not my Hallow Scream. The houses were mediocre, most of them. The scare zones, I don't know. I feel like they were like, hey. Wait, I'll just wait till the show to say that. No, just whatever. All right, are we ready to go? Baby, I'm
Yeah.
ready
Oh,
to
wait.
go.
I should probably do an audio test in Audacity.
I should probably do one as well, Bob, but F it, we'll do it live. Oh. I might need to open my audio recorder.
That helps.
Are you sure?
Does help.
Is that
I've
the
been
step
told.
in the right direction?
I think so. Possibly.
I was unaware of that.
But now you are.
I really thought my PC would just start going, oh, wait, he's talking. Let me record real quick.
James, shut up! I need something to be angry about. That seems like the right thing. Did I scare anybody with a scream?
You're more scary than Hello Scream this year.
I am. I'm frightening.
You are. With your terrible Steel Vengeance opinions.
Wait, who said alright, good night? Wait, what? Who's leaving?
Cam's leaving. Can you not read?
Cam's leaving? What? No, apparently not. No, he just said alright, good night. I didn't know.
Yeah. That's what he said. He just said good night.
Okay, well, good night, Cam.
Are you leaving? Do you have school tomorrow? Do you guys have school tomorrow? I was under the impression that most people are getting off for Yom Kippur. I mean, that's what we're doing. Hello. Hi, I'm James, and I'm testing the audio. I don't like testing the audio sometimes, because sometimes it makes me mad, because I have to change things, but it looks like everything's flowing smoothly here, so we're good.
Screw you, James.
That's unfortunate, guys. I do not have school tomorrow. Hi, I'm James. Oh, all right, that's not.
I don't have school tomorrow.
Hi, I'm James. I
No.
thought, of all people, I thought you would. Hi, I'm James, and I'm testing the audio. I don't like testing the audio sometimes, because sometimes it makes me mad. Because we do not have school tomorrow. It's Yom Kippur. It's a Jewish holiday, so they gave us off for that. I don't know why they just now started giving us that off, but I'll take it. They also gave us Rosh Hashanah off on last week. So instead of starting school on that Tuesday, we started on Wednesday. All right. Which I am allowed to go back to school now, guys. I know. It's awesome. I swear to God. I called the health department and was like, all right, can I please, for the love of God, get contact traced? I don't have it. And then they didn't even have to contact trace me. They were like, oh, yeah, you're good. You don't have it. We'll fill out the form. We'll get that filled out. I'm like, you fuck. You mother effers. I've been waiting for a week and a half for you guys to call me for contact tracing. It was like a Seinfeld moment. I was about to go off on the mothers, but it's all right. We made it through, guys. We got it. All right, you ready, Bob? You ready, Bob? You ready, Bob? You ready, Bob?
I think so.
I said.
There's a good possibility.
A scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you?
Oh, about 3.
That's typically how I feel, honestly. I say I'm ready, but then I'm like, I'm going to say something stupid. And Bob's going to scorn me.
You actually wrote Golden Lassos.
I did. You like that? I wrote that after just as a joke to see if you finally just got that.
All right, ready?
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2.
3, 2.
Hello, everybody. It is time for another week of Coaster Talk Podcast. This is episode 138 of the show. I am James Barbar.
I'm just plain old Bob Mertz, I guess.
You don't have anything fun for us today?
I was not prepared for that.
I wasn't either, Bob. That was straight from the mind. That was a quick hit right there. This is episode 138. I think I already said that. I don't know. I just threw myself off there. It's September 15th, 2021. Welcome back, everyone. We have quite a limited amount of news stories, but as you guys know, that doesn't stop us. So this show very well could be 3.5 hours. We don't know.
Is it really September 15th?
It is, actually. It is September 15th, but it's not when they're listening to it.
Okay. All right. Just figured I'd clarify that.
Yeah. You guys are listening to this. Well, it'll have been released on September 19th. I wrote the correct date for the day we're recording this, not the date that it's actually going to be released. But most of you are probably listening to this well past the actual release date anyway, so this is just a general time frame. It's the middle of September. So, a couple of things to talk about right before we jump into the news. You had something, Bob, you wanted to share.
Yeah, Coney at Lake Park.
This is kind of part 2.5. It's not really the full. I don't consider this a part 3 rant.
This isn't. It's not becoming a trailer park.
End of story.
Why?
Well,
why
at
do I
least
have to say that?
it may be, but we have no confirmation from that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
like
maybe.
Like
Yeah, maybe
like a historical
that's what I should say.
foundation, a roller coaster historical foundation on Facebook does not somehow just via a Facebook post have the authority to therefore say that that's what's happening.
And I'm
people
beginning
are
to
taking it
question-
seriously.
I'm really beginning to question this historical foundation. I think this is literally something that somebody made up, and people started taking seriously. I don't know. I'm
Just
I'm
gain some traction.
flabbergasted
Yeah, I
by
don't
what
know.
and all of Reddit now believes that Conneaut Lake Park is about to be bulldozed and turned into a trailer park. And that's not what anything leads to whatsoever.
Yeah, there's a housing development that Joseph is, I believe, evaluating like taxes or like trying to.
Yeah, so down the street basically, he wants to build a housing development and he's asking for tax breaks.
Mm-hmm. I heard that there's
God, I
one
hope they
across
don't
the lake as well.
Well, no, this is it. It's down the street, but
Kind of-
off the lake.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think
same one.
Yeah, I believe it's the same one. It's just like a different part of the lake.
All right.
But-
sure.
I mean, things suck at Conneaut Lake right now, and things just don't look good for the amusement park side. And I think Todd Joseph himself is playing down the fact that it is an amusement park. He's trying to talk up the events and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, all the amusement stuff's back burner," and
Yeah.
I think
What you
he's
really
just
should be
trying
coming to
like-
Conneaut Lake Park for is reggae on the lake.
I like how the ad also says Foo Bar. I mean, I'm sure that represents something, but to me, it's just all Foo Bar.
It's pretty funny.
I don't know, and this is a thing too. Like, I said this on the Reddit thread, and boom! Like everybody jumped on me. Like, how can you defend Todd Joseph? Holy crap, people!
Yeah.
I'm not.
I was the original
have you
scorner of
heard
Todd
me
Joseph. I
talk?
mean,
Like, holy crap! I do not like this guy. I think he's horrible. I think he's a prick. I think he's a jerk. I think he's like a whole bunch of things. but there's also like this. The other thing in this post is they actually called him mentally insane. Like, come, he's not a good person, but to call him mentally insane, like this is just not. It's not helping. And I don't understand. Like, this is what floors me the most. What he's doing to that park is just absolutely terrible. Why do people feel the need to actually like lie and like add stuff on top of it? Like, just say what's going on, and people are pissed as it is. Like, we don't have to make up stories. I don't understand where this whole trailer park thing came from. It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
And Bob, remember, was the first out of the gate to give Joseph and Connie this bad, I mean, this take of like, you guys suck and what are you doing? If you guys recall.
I think it was probably me and Andrew Hyde were probably right around the same time.
Andrew like predicted it, and then he kind of like laid off a little bit. But then when it actually started pointing towards,
I'll be honest. I gave Todd Joseph the benefit.
At the very beginning, you did.
I actually thought this was okay. This could be good until I realized he's just a plain old asshole.
Yeah.
That's just scamming people. But yeah, like, oh my God, I like it just floored me. I couldn't believe that people were like, oh well, I don't like. What are we supposed to do? Just sit and do nothing? Like, no, I never said that. I said don't lie and don't call people like things that aren't true. Like, the truth is bad enough to get people irritated. You don't have to like make stuff up. I don't like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, 100%, like there's no way that Conneaut Lake will ever become a trailer park, but there's no evidence. There's nothing. Right now, Todd Joseph...
There's no basis for this assertion. Yeah, it's...
Right. The only thing Todd Joseph is telling us is that he wants to have events and concerts and stuff. Well, if you turn it into a trailer park, then he's not going to have concerts and such. Yeah. So, you have to kind of... Like, I think Todd Joseph's own words are indicating how dire the situation is for the amusement park. Mm-hmm. But it also says that, like, the place isn't being leveled to, like, put up a trailer park.
Yeah.
And also it's a housing development that, like, down the street is a housing development. It's not a trailer park.
Yeah, I don't know where this notion of it becoming a trailer park is even really derived from.
I don't know. I mean,
like, I just why not a playground? Like, what is the trailer? Like, I don't know why we're choosing trailer park as an actual.
Well, and that's the other thing is the one thing
something he's previously been involved in. I don't know.
Well, the one thing that he opted to keep himself was the public use exemption. So whatever's on that property has to be public use. That doesn't save the rides or anything, but that does prevent it from being a trailer park.
Yeah. Yeah, for now, for sure. So,
and I mean, that was the one thing that he specifically said he didn't object to. So therefore, as far as I'm aware, he's bound by that. He's bound by the public use exemption. Like that land has to be used, for the public. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But guys, like this is bad. I mean, things are bad at Conneaut, but I mean, we have to be responsible in this. I'm not saying put your pitchforks down and, stop complaining. Like, by all means, please go rally, protest, do whatever. Like, but let's be truthful about this. Let's not stoop to Todd Joseph's level.
Let's not give attention and status to these fabrications. I mean, right. without any evidence, of course. Yeah, so that was the main little point we wanted to get to right before talking about the news GCI announcement. Things we already knew about, but nonetheless, getting a little bit more information about them. The Infinity Flyers, the new trains that were unveiled at IAAPA a couple years ago. We saw the actual like model of the front train at IAAPA, but now we're actually getting a little bit more insight into the project, and also these are now going to be utilized on the newest coasters from from GCI. So these are now officially a product of GCI. They're not really a concept any longer. So what they're stating is, of course, very similar to kind of how Gravity Group does market their, what is their trains called? Timberliners. How they market theirs is like, oh, we can do unbelievably tight and rapid transitions. That's kind of what they're going for with this Infinity Flyers. They actually have 2 models of elements. They have like a turnaround, and then they have like a crest and a valley that they have on this infographic that they provided. And it shows how much tighter and how much more compact these elements can be, which obviously saves money because it's less track. So yeah, that's what they're kind of going for. It's also stated on the infographic that it's 80% fewer welds. So obviously if it's a larger machine parts, there's less maintenance that needs to be required for the trains, which is great for the parks. And yeah, and then they go to talk about how their ASTM standard, obviously, class 4 and 5 restraint, and the height requirement, the minimum height requirement could be as low as 40, which is great. If they're talking maybe a larger scale ride, that would be kind of interesting. I don't know. Possibly they're talking about just their smaller, like family coasters, but if they're talking a little bit larger ride, that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see like something like Invader maybe with a 40-inch height requirement.
Yeah, I don't understand why Invader actually can't be.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know, and maybe if given these trains, it wouldn't need to be. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because well, I guess maybe the old trains aren't certified to that. Now that I think about it, because they weren't. Why do I always get Gravity Group and GCI confused?
Yeah, I just did that. I mean, it's like, they're 2 wooden coaster manufacturers and the G's. Come on, it's easy.
Yeah, I clearly know. It's when I get to the trains. That's when I usually get. Yeah, I don't know.
They're easy.
But that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh well, like Wacky Taxi's like really low,
Yeah.
but that's not GCI. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder if that does change from the Millennium Flyers.
I would imagine so. Hopefully, that would be a great innovation and change for them to allow their kind of not even. I mean, Invader's not too large, but it's also not I wouldn't. It is a family coaster, but it's also large enough that I think most adults even find it like a thrilling experience. So it would be interesting if we saw something like that have such a low height requirement. Yeah.
Well, this kind of makes me wonder if GCI is now kind of watching Gravity Group get this, have this huge thing now where they build these really small, compact family coasters, and they're doing really well with it, and GCI is like, oh, let's go after them.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's a smart move. You want to compete with
maybe, but I don't know. It seems like GCI is like all of a sudden like, oh, let's do this, like copying idea. I mean, Titan Track's that's just a rip off of RMC for the most part.
The Chopper Track, yeah. I mean, the iBox Track, yeah.
iBox Track, yeah. Now this is like, oh, let's make trains that do what Gravity Group does. I don't know. It's just kind of. I'm really curious to see what GCI does over the next few years.
Yeah, I'm interested to see their future, their
I have this feeling
outlook.
that they're not going to be as good as they used to be. I just have that feeling.
I don't know. It's
I don't know for sure either. It's just kind of like
tell.
this, like.
I think these look like very good trains, and they look like they could really produce a good ride experience. So I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm not. Well, yeah,
are you sacrificing the
don't take it the wrong
traditional
way. I mean,
GCI feel for this kind of? I don't know.
I just feel like the company itself is not.
It's going in a different direction. for
Yeah,
sure.
they're just going in a different direction than what they were, and I don't know that. I just question whether they're going to be quite as good as they
Once
used
were.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair. I mean, it's not really able to be seen right now, so we'll see what their future holds for them. I did want to mention. Did you see in the comments? Somebody said at Hershey Park, please put these on Wildcat. And then GCI replied, listen to the fans at Hershey Park. I wonder.
No, put PTCs on them.
I wonder. I mean, but aside from the PTCs, would maybe this will be better than the Flyers? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
Or the Millennium Flyers. We got to get used to calling them Millennium Flyers now because they're not just the Flyers, because now we have the Infinity Flyers. So I wonder if they'd be better than the Millennium Flyers.
I wonder what the weight of these are. I imagine they're going to be less.
I would imagine so. I don't know, but it says they're made for the optimized comfortability. So
PTCs belong on Wildcat. That's the one thing I know.
that's the one thing you're certain of in this world.
Yes, because I rode it with PTCs and they were better.
All right. I mean, I can't speak to it. I wouldn't mind, but I know that the Millennium Flyers aren't everyone's favorite, so I'm up for any kind of change to it if it'll stop people from complaining. So Infinity Flyers, PTCs, I don't know.
Oh, people are always going to complain.
Maybe, but
You know what? You know what will fit? Honest to God, you know what would fix Wildcat at Hershey Park?
burning it to the ground.
No. Shut.
I'm just kidding.
If Hershey Park built a ground-up RMC somewhere else in the park, all of a
Yes.
sudden Wildcat would not be this
Yes.
horrible, horrible thing that
You
needs to be
stated that
torn down
before.
immediately.
Yep. People would now be like, "Oh, we got the RMC. We're content."
Oh, and Wildcat actually is pretty fun. Imagine that.
I don't know, but I'm up for a change on Wildcat if we want, because I mean the Millennium Flyers are fine, but Infinity Flyers might not be bad. It might not be a bad choice. Of course, I would if PTCs are as great as you say, that wouldn't be a bad move either. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, and we'll see what we see with the Infinity Flyers and the prospect of Gravity Group as a company overall in the next few years. We'll see what we get from them. Wallaby
great.
Holland, or excuse me, Wallaby Belgium. I'm on a roll tonight, just messing up. Simple.
Yeah, you do realize at the end of the last segment you just said Gravity Group again.
Did I?
And you meant to say GCI.
All right, I'm going to state this now. I know I've used this cop out before, but tonight it is imperative to why I'm acting like such a fool. I got 3 hours of sleep last night, and then I went to a full day of school, and we'll be getting little sleep tonight as well because I have to get up at 5:30 for a flight.
Wait.
So,
How does future sleep affect your performance now?
well, I'm thinking about that, Bob. I'm thinking about it, and it's concerning me.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. I know I've used that before. Before, it sometimes has been kind of I don't know, futile cop out, but this actually it holds some value tonight. It is true. I have gotten little sleep, so I'll give you that. Give me that. Wallaby Belgium is reopening October 2nd, and the reason for their closure was the European floods. So if you remember, about a month ago, we discussed the outlook of multiple parks in Europe closing due to these floods, and we wanted to give a bit of an update, a bit of closure for this closure that it is going to be reopening. So
I want to just listen to you just talk and ramble tonight because it's pretty funny. Your sentences are not. You really did not get sleep.
I did. I'm not joking. I was thinking last night, while it was a homework assignment that I was up doing, and I was thinking, oh man, tomorrow night I'm going to be doing this podcast and I'm going to be totally dazed. I'm going to be totally out of it. And yeah, so Bob, you can take it away. I'm going to go get some sleep. Bob, you take over the show. You got
Wallaby
this?
Belgium is reopening October 2nd.
Yeah, if you didn't get that, if I somehow, I don't even remember what I said, so probably said something completely opposite. Noble Rides.
I guess there's not.
Noble Rides.
Noble Rides. This is not a noble idea.
It is not. So, the good old Golden Horse Company is coming in and with a subsidiary. And Noble Rides is going to be the Switzerland.
Jinma Rides.
Yeah.
Or whatever rebrand they're on now.
So it's actually Noble. It's actually Golden Horse. I think that's actually like the Chinese translation. Or at least that's what Dwayne has provided us on RCDB when I was reading it the other day. Is that it's actually the official name of the company is still Golden Horse Entertainment or something of that nature, but that's like the Chinese translation of the word.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Maybe that's my 3 hours of sleep talking again, but I really hope that's not. Yeah, so they're coming in with a subsidiary company for a Switzerland company. This is going to be like a European and U.S. market company. So this is going to hopefully help them.
It doesn't say U.S. company, but it says they can build to U.S. standards.
Correct. That's not what I said. They're going. It's the market is the U.S. and the Europe is Europe and Europe. Yeah. Woo. So
this is so there. It says European and USA engineering. Are they actually see? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is clearly like, okay, this is a brand new company, but yet they have pictures of roller coasters that they've already designed on their website, like, and they're Golden Horse coasters.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just all kinds of weird. Basically says they're going to be manufactured by Golden Horse, I guess. They're trying to indicate that they are completely separate from Golden Horse. They're just using the manufacturing facilities.
Yeah, but they are affiliates.
I have
affiliated company.
I have a feeling it's the same company.
I'm sure. I mean,
but Golden Horse hasn't built any roller coasters in any country that has standards. I mean, well,
let's rephrase that.
That sounded a little bit worse.
Appropriate, maybe, or like as strict as most countries like the U.S. and Europe have.
Yeah. So and there's been reasons for that. Apparently, like I've actually heard this a couple times. I can't back it up. I can't confirm it. So take it with a grain of salt. But I've actually heard that they were kicked out of IAAPA. For some reason.
I heard that as well.
It just they've not followed any.
Apparently, they were sued by a manufacturer.
Well, I mean, everything they've made is basically a knockoff of somebody.
Yeah, so I mean that
They've
shouldn't
copied
be,
B&M, Vekoma, Chance,
that shouldn't be much of
Zamperla. I mean, like,
an astonishing fact, but yeah, I think they've been sued by one or two firms.
well, see, that's the thing, though. They've kind of skirted around that because China was like a really tough. It was tough to have to, when you have companies that are everywhere else, and then you have Golden Horse in China, where
The laws aren't as
China doesn't seem to care as much
the
about
laws aren't as strict
patents and
in,
copyrights and stuff.
yeah.
There's just like that's kind of why Golden Horse has kind of existed in China and not really anywhere else. I mean, they have like Iran, Uzbekistan, Russia, Costa Rica.
Czechia.
There are a couple in Mexico. But like, places where they could just kind of skirt by. This is what's going to be interesting is how are they going to differentiate themselves enough.
I mean, and they're gonna have to if they're trying to implement themselves into these markets. So
Right. I mean, if they build something in the United States, or well, I mean, I guess I don't know. This whole thing's interesting, and we need to have a lawyer on to explain the complications that this could arise. I'm also sure that they probably have a lawyer that's saying, well, if you say it exactly this way and you do it exactly this way, you can get by this law and that law.
yeah. But yeah, I would like a lawyer to come on and explain the intricacies of this.
But it is going to be interesting to see, like, in the U.S., who's going to buy these. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be cheap options. So that's going to be
their main, I think, selling point. Is hey,
right. But
we're cheap.
the fact that they've ripped off B&M, like, okay, let's take for instance Cedar Fair, who seems to only like B&M, and they just hate everybody else. It kind of seems like, like if Cedar Fair decides, oh, let's get a Noble Rides coaster, does that make it awkward between them?
Does that disrupt the relationship between B&M and Cedar Fair? Yeah.
And the same with like any other park with any other manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some comments. Well, maybe it'll be the parks that don't really deal with.
I think it'll mainly be, at least off the bat, smaller like FECs and family parks implementing.
But
these
many
rides.
of them deal with Zamperla frequently.
Yeah, but I think many of them also don't purchase a coaster regularly enough to really either have a
We're not just talking about coasters. We're talking about flat rides too.
That's
and
fair.
Zamperla makes a rather large collection of kiddie rides that actually appears at FECs. So that's where this, is there going to be concern of like, oh, well, most of our kiddie rides are Zamperla. So are we going to piss them off if we buy something from Golden Horse?
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of, I mean, it's just an interesting thing to think about.
It's possible, but honestly, I don't know. I think it comes down to the fact that if the company buys from Noble Rides, that might upset Zamperla, but as long as they're willing to come back eventually, I don't see why Zamperla wouldn't gain the revenue. I mean, they're not going to turn them down, or it might be a little awkward.
That's true too. But like, it just kind of, I think a lot of parks have really good relationships with some of the manufacturers, even the small parks. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where there's a lot of different angles, and it's kind of interesting to see where.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where Noble Rides will assert themselves, where they will insert themselves into this market. If they're gonna try to be B&M and Intamin and Vekoma and like implement large scale attractions at some of these parks, or if they're gonna stick to SBF visa kind of route. Let's get some FECs to get us, here and there, and maybe get some flat rides here and there. Go on at some of these parks. Yeah, and again, this probably will mainly take place at least early on. I would think in the initial stages will take place in Europe. Most of these will probably be European projects, and then we'll probably start seeing some in the U.S. after that phase, I would imagine. I don't know. They're out of Europe. I just feel like that's going to be where they want to start.
I think we could see maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. I think we could see something from Noble Rides appear.
Yeah, I think that's a fair timeline. I think initially, though, in the next couple of years, it'll be Europe-based only for now. But 3 to 5, I think, is a reasonable hypothesis for them to have their rides in the U.S. So
it does. The website does say they are part of Jinma Rides family.
Yeah, it does on the About Us page.
But then it also says it's independently operated from Switzerland.
Yeah, I mean, so to me it sounds like it's a subsidiary. It's one of the affiliated companies with them, but it's not actually operated by anybody from that branch directly. It's like separately operated almost. So yeah. Yeah, so I do want to bring up something right before we go to the second half of the show and take a break real quick. Right before we... hold up. Let me just stop that. Oh, I don't know. I got to gather my thoughts for this. So I'm gonna talk about this thing, because I don't want to wait till the end of the show, because I feel like a lot of people might tune out and not hear it. I feel like this is a good place to talk about it.
Okay.
Second half of the show and take a break real quick.
Where'd you stop at?
3107.
3107.
You might want to record too, because I don't know if you want to have input on this piece.
No, I will. I just wanted to say.
All right, I just want to make sure you weren't like, you can just do it and then.
Let me do a save first, real quick.
Is anybody still out there? Doesn't look like it. Pam's asleep. Cam's asleep. Mike is probably waiting until midnight to join back and be like, suck it. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Second half of the show and take a break real quick. Want to talk about a opportunity that we're going to be providing you guys. So, as you always know, every week we conclude the show with social media plugs, email plugs.
Whoa, wait, hold up. I just got the, you're running out of drive space.
Good morning.
Go delete crap.
And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That was to Pam.
Oh.
Because you said good morning. You like that movie? Have you seen that movie? The Truman Show?
Yes. It's been a long time, though. Man, I gotta figure something out with all this stuff. I have way too much stuff on my drives.
How much drive space do you
Oh,
have?
there we go. That helped. 2 terabyte. But it's
You have a lot of stuff.
I do. Oh, do I have? Hold on a second. Let me see if. I think I found the last file that I need to delete, but I just have to confirm that I already copied it over. Excuse me. Okay, I have that. So. Empty trash, and I think I'm good. All right. All right. Ready to start when you are. I went back to 3107.
All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. Let me see what the last thing I said was. For second half of the show. And I just want to make sure I'm transitioning correctly now because I forgot. Yeah, so I do want to bring up something right before we go to the second half of the show and take a break real quick. All right, you ready?
Yep. 3, 2.
We have an opportunity for you to gain some sweet prizes here at Goes Your Talk Podcast. And this is totally free of entering a photo contest or really having any sort of creative process. This is simply sending in an audio file to the show. So you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be whatever. This could just be talking to us. We want to hear you guys, though. We want some audience interaction. And to incentivize that, we are giving away some pretty cool prizes. We have actually a Pantheon member-exclusive lanyard that I'll be giving away, and also a Voyage pin. And the requirement is literally send in an audio file, and we'll decide what is the best report we've gotten, the best audio report. You know, it could be literally telling us a story, make us laugh, make us think, tell us a story, whatever it is. Share your thoughts on what we talked about last week. Hey, you guys are morons. Hey, you guys are geniuses. And then talk to us about why. It could be. It doesn't have to be. We prefer it not to be too long, but send us something. Interact with us. We'd love to hear from you guys. That's something that we share every week at the end of the show. Is hey, if you want to reach out to us via email and leave an audio file, please do. Well, hey, we're gonna incentivize this. So I think our time period is gonna be a few months out. We're gonna evaluate the audio files we get sent in, and decide what is our favorites.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt, just interact with us. And
yeah, exactly. This could literally be listening to the show and responding to what we say. It doesn't have to have it. You don't have to formulate a story if you don't want to, or think about a story. It could be as simple as even saying, hey, I'm at a park and this is what I'm riding right now. I mean, just send us something in. We want to hear from you guys in the audience. Because we have a considerable audience, and I know you guys are out there.
Tell us where we got things wrong.
Exactly. We love it.
We got things right.
Yeah, so I wanted to plug that in before the end of the show because I know some of you might be like, "Oh, it's the plug-in time. I'm gonna head out." So hopefully you guys can get that and hear that and understand the the assignment at hand. This is your homework.
Yes.
All right,
Yes, I
guys.
will.
Well, that does it for the first half. We're going to go over to the second half. Bob visited New England. We're going to talk about that. I visited Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Tyler Stream. We'll talk about that a bit. We have a weekly poll, of course. That's all coming up in the second half of the show. All right.
Oh.
I just said a couple months. I guess we'll figure that out later. What's the actual deadline?
Yeah.
Do you think end of the year, or do you think further
don't
on
know.
than that? I mean, that's only like 4 months away. Is that fair, you think?
Sure. End of November.
No, like end of January. I mean, end of December, I mean. That's the end of the year.
What I was thinking. I know the end of the year. I know what the end of the year is. I was just thinking, would it be better to do end of the year or end of November?
I feel like end of the year is better, because then it's like, I don't know, like signifies something like, it's the end of the year, and here's the trip reports we got for this year, kind of, even though we didn't do it all year.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we'll do. All right, you ready to continue then?
Yep. 3, 2.
So 2 new parks and a park you haven't visited since the 90s.
Yes.
Bob
been a
went
while.
to New England this weekend. Six Flags New England, Quasi, and Compounds, Lake Compounds.
Yes. It was a really good trip. Went with anybody on Instagram that knows DP Coaster Photos.
Or anybody that listened to the show before, because he's been on like 7 times.
Yes, he has. That's true. Oh, yeah, actually, he was on for the photo contest. Yes, so him and I went up to New England for this last weekend. And it was a really good trip. And I had some certain expectations, and things were like, things were a lot different than I was really kind of expecting them. One of the first things is Lake Compounds, I thought was going to be a much bigger park than it actually was. But it was a great park. And this is okay. So anybody that's been listening to the show this year knows the frustration I had when I went to Kennywood with my Palace Platinum Pass that was processed at Dutch Wonderland.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a nightmare. So I was all prepared, like, oh, it's going to be a fight. Pass scanned at the gate. They let me in. I was thirsty, and I went to get a drink, and I had my credit card out, and she tried to scan it. Like, she grabbed it and was ready to scan it like it was a season pass. And I said, oh, I didn't think I got anything. She's like, oh, yeah. She scans it, and I'm still ready to pay. She said, no, Platinum Pass holders get free drinks. Like, what? Hold up. What are you talking about? I didn't know this.
You got to report these findings to Kennywood.
So, like, so I'm, like, so torn. I have no idea what Palace actually gives their Platinum Pass holders, what they don't give them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what are they
the
instructing and advising their parks to do? Like, there's such a miscommunication.
I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
Now, I got discounts on food, but I didn't get discounts on merchandise. Now, I wasn't expecting anything. I was expecting to literally have to fight to get into the park. So all of this stuff was just, added benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But they were scanning, like, it wasn't like they were just employees that didn't know what they were doing. They were actually scanning my pass, and the computer was telling them, this is what I get.
Yeah.
So, I just don't...
That is the system they have in
Based
place.
on my experience... But based on my experience at Lake Compounds, I totally would renew my Palace Platinum Pass. But I don't know.
You don't know what to
I
believe.
don't know. I don't know what's right. I
Yeah.
don't know what I'd actually get.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. But oh my God, everybody up there is so nice at Lake Compounce and Quasi. Both those parks, everybody was just so nice to deal with. They were just amazing.
Mhm.
I was blown away. I think the biggest shocker for me was Phobia Fear Coaster. I don't understand why it's so much better than Tempesto, but holy crap, is it
Those comfort collars.
so much better than Tempesto? Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was just about to say, and do not tell me it's comfort collars because it is more than comfort collars.
It is the comfort collars.
There's just something like it goes. I don't know. It goes faster. Maybe I don't know. It's
I don't know.
just,
I've
it's-
ridden all of the, well, all the SeaWorld. I didn't get on the Discovery Kingdom Skyrocket 2, and they all suck. So it has to be something. I don't know. Maybe it's just because Phobia Fear was an earlier model, I believe, as well as Superman Ultimate Escape.
It's also only 2 cars instead of 3.
It is, yeah, and that's the
I don't
same
know
with
if
Superman.
that-
That's the same with Superman at Discovery Kingdom. So it's possible that they've just changed things around. Because I
mean,
think
I'll
Phobia
be
Fear
honest,
opened
I
in like
really-
2015. Superman opened up way before that, and then Tempesto was like what 2016, 2017. Tigress, I rode Tigress, I rode Emperor, and those all sucked. Or not Emperor. What is?
I don't
what
know.
is-
I
don't
enjoy-
even remember.
I
I don't even
enjoy
remember what
Tempesto.
San Diego's is called now, but yeah.
I don't know, but I enjoy Tempesto. I really like the ride, but Phobia Fear is so much better.
I'm not a big.
It's
Tempesto's
so much
alright.
better. Like it's incredible. Boulder Dash was my first ride. I was not as good as I was expecting.
Electric Eel. Hold up, sorry, that's what it's called. I just want to.
But then my second and third rides on Boulder Dash were actually pretty amazing. And I found that you have to ride in the front of a car. So front seat was great. Next to the back seat was great. The back seat was not so great. You just have to, be in the front seat of the car, I guess. That's kind of what I narrowed it down to. Not that it was a terrible ride in the back seat. It just wasn't as much fun. Wildcat was unfortunately closed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I wanted to hear your thoughts on that because that gets a really, really bad rep.
Well,
That could have
Has
been another
bad reps
Wildcat
for
that you
closed.
had a completely opposite take as opposed to everyone else.
Zoomerang has the most amazing paint job. That coaster looks beautiful. It still hurts. It still sucks. I hate riding. Put MK1212 trains on it. We can talk again, but the paint job is amazing. I love the color of the train. They painted it. It's like a multicolor. I don't know what it's called. It's actually really good. But quasi, whatever.
Quasi.
Wooden Warrior was stupid fun. Oh my God, that coaster! Every single hill, you were out of your seat. The only thing I could find, my first thought getting off of that coaster was, what happened to Kentucky Flyer?
Yeah.
That was literally my first thought.
That's exactly my take with Switchback as EDTs. It just doesn't make sense. And Mind Blower, like, they're both rather smaller coasters. I mean, Mind Blower, given, is a little taller. It's about 100, so it's starting to get to a larger coaster category. But still, these are some small, compact coasters. I don't know how they messed up Flyer. I don't know what they did.
Oh my God, Wooden Warrior was just ridiculous.
I'm so glad to hear.
I'm
glad to hear you love it.
And the shocking thing was, one of my favorite rides from the whole weekend was actually a flat ride from SBF Visa. It took me a while to figure out who actually made this thing, but I eventually figured out that it was SBF Visa. but it was basically a smaller version of a Chaos. And it's actually classified as a family ride. And it was so comfortable. First of all, the funny thing was I had the ride operator brought a stool over for me to get on, and I'm like, I don't need that. And then I immediately said, oh, I do need that. The seats are impossible to get into, but once you're in there, they are so comfortable, and the movements of the ride are just, they flow so well. But yeah, so that's the two small parks. They're both extremely beautiful parks. They complement each other, I think. I think that's the big thing. Is you could basically, well, we did both parks in a single day with no issues, and had a great time at both parks.
Mm-hmm. They make that region worth a visit for sure. I need to get back up there and get to them.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely a good combination of those two parks, and they're both beautiful. Quasi is just a little tiny version of Knoebels, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I would probably recommend that you consider getting the ride all day. I actually saved $2 by doing ride tickets, but I also kind of kept myself from riding certain things that I probably would have rode again, or rode multiple times. So that would be one recommendation that I'd have for you.
How many Wooden Warrior rides did you end up with?
3, 2 or 3. I did front and back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I only had 2. I did the front seat and the back seat. Both were just as fun. I really didn't notice too much of a difference between the two.
I'm definitely back with at least with the experience of the gravity groups I've ridden, but I'd be interested to see, especially 'cause how small it is. It's different.
Yeah, I think there may have been it might have been slightly better in the back, but then being able to see where you're going just might have added. I don't know. I enjoyed them both thoroughly though. But aside from that, Friday night we did Coaster Power Hour at Six Flags New England, and then we also went back there on Sunday. Superman takes the cake of this whole trip. Hands down, Superman the ride in New England. Yeah, that is such a great coaster.
It is.
Such a great coaster. Wicked Cyclone is just another RMC.
Yeah.
I kind of, there were a couple moments, especially in the back, that were a little painful the first time I rode, but I found that if I actually kept my hands down and my arms kind of patted myself into the seat, it was actually a much more enjoyable ride for me.
I don't know, Bob. You have some exceedingly strange experiences on some of these rides, but yeah. Storm
Wait
Chaser
till you're 40.
crushes your balls, but
I don't understand why Storm Chaser.
I don't get that either. I just don't get it.
I don't understand. It just hurts.
Yeah, I don't know. You just have some odd.
Wicked Cyclone hurt because of this. Actually, the same reason that Still Vengeance hurt me the first time. It was that it just kind of whipped you from one side to the other. And it just kind of threw my back in a weird position. It wasn't terrible. I mean, Wicked Cyclone was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoyed that ride. I just found that I enjoyed it better if I actually put my hands down.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I realized how instinctive putting my hands up is, because I was trying to figure out, when I was last at that park, it was Riverside Cyclone, and you actually entered the coaster through the coaster. So kind of somewhere where Flashback is now is where the entrance to Cyclone was actually at. and there were like you basically weaved through the coaster into the loading station. So Daniel and I were actually talking about this, and we were on the lift hill, and I was actually looking down, seeing if I could see, because we found this old abandoned set of stairs that like went to nowhere, and I was like, I wonder if that was the entrance. I think that was another ride. I think they may have had a rotor or something. But anyway, I was looking down, and like it was funny because like just as soon as I felt us hitting the crest, I immediately put my hands up just out of instinct. And like after the first turn, I was like, oh shit, no. But it was so funny how I just like automatically just did that.
Yeah, it's
How,
habitual.
like,
It's habitual,
instinctive.
especially with the RMCs, because there's nowhere to grab onto, really. There's no, like, they don't have grab bars or handles.
That's yeah, that's actually very true. But it's kind of instinctive for me just in general. Like,
Yeah,
no matter
sure,
what
but
it
I
is,
think
like,
the
my
RMCs
hand is just,
especially.
but yes, definitely. I mean, there's nothing else major to report.
Did you do
everything?
the Sky Screamer, the Wonder Woman, the Skyfire?
Oh yes, we did. We did do that.
Thoughts?
Actually, I wrote
I
it a
really
couple
enjoyed
times.
that.
I did too. The second time I wrote it, I mean, I ride those things because they scare me. I mean, not scared like I'm really really scared of this, but like it just like makes me uncomfortable enough that
A little bit queasy,
I start feeling that excitement factor. But the second time I rode it was actually on Sunday when we were there. There was so much wind. I'm not kidding you. Every single swing was actually swinging almost backwards. We were just twisting so much just from the wind. It
yeah.
was.
I
It
can't
was
remember.
crazy.
I can't remember if it was New England's or if it was the Orlando one. I think it was New England's actually that same thing happened to me. We were up there and the wind was actually like swaying the whole swings. It was It's incredible when that happens, and it is kind of scary. Because unlike the
Oh
wind
my
seekers
God,
that
it
have
was
like that
frightening.
kind of strong
Yeah,
support
it's
beam that like
yeah.
holds the swings in
It's
place,
just like
you
stiff
have
arm,
just that
yeah.
just that chain that's like it's so flexible and malleable and able to swing. It's it's a little
Oh my
terrifying.
God. Yeah. It was a lot of fun though.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually did do the cyber spin or whatever they call it,
Yeah,
which I
you haven't been on Great Adventures, right? That was your first one? Is it? Oh wait, different ride.
they don't
Sorry,
have different yeah.
never mind.
This was so I can't
I was like, I don't
I
remember
was
them
actually
having that,
looking.
but okay.
Um so it looks like Great Escape. I was looking at the Great Escape ride list, and they have something that might be the same. I mean, it's a similar ride. They actually list Chance as the manufacturer there. Um, so I'm assuming this was also a Chance, but it's not actually identified.
Oh,
But
it's
they built it
Did
inside.
you say it's Cyborg Hyperdrive? Just so you know.
Hyperdrive. That's it.
Okay, I just want because you said Cyber Spin, and I'm like, I
Something.
feel like that's the New England. I mean, that's
You're
the Great
right.
Adventure
You're right.
one. I was like, I don't even remember them getting that. But yeah, all right, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's indoor and it's kind of cool. I mean, it's literally in a garage.
Uh huh.
Um, so Six Flags definitely skimped on the theming. Knoebels definitely has the better indoor ride experience with Cosmotron. But it was still actually a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. It was a pretty comfortable and fun ride, just the ride system itself as well. The Wild Mouse there, I forget what it's called. It's terrible.
I think it's Arkham
It's
Knight.
just terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one.
And I think it's like pretty similar to Hershey's, which I really like Hershey's
Oh,
Wild
I don't like
Mouse.
Hershey's either. So that.
Oh, see, I like Hershey's, but that one, oh my God. Oh, and here's something we need to discuss. Six Flags New England, you need to learn how to use some WD-40 or something. I have never been on a Tivoli that goes as slow as that went. Not to mention the noise coming from that train was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but it's been years. It's been a couple years, so.
I mean Tivolis I think are kind of enjoyable. Like the one at Great Adventure is actually I mean, it's not a thrilling ride, but it's fairly fun. I was kind of excited to get on what is it, Catwoman's Whip
Catwoman's
or
Whip. I think.
whatever.
Yeah.
Man, that was one of the most disappointing things of the trip was how horrible that was. It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Side note, you're going to be very excited when you go to Knott's Berry Farm and ride Jaguar. That's like the extended layout.
Oh,
Tivoli.
yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. That
I kid you not. I hadn't really realized. And again, this is completely off topic. I'm sorry, but we're notorious for it. I hadn't really realized going in that it was a Tivoli. Like I knew it was a Tivoli, but then I get in the trains. I'm like, oh, this is a Tivoli, and I mean, it's long. It's like 3,000 feet long, and it was not. I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, since you love the Tivolis, you'll love that.
Yeah, I just think they're fun.
They are fun. Yes.
Riddler Revenge was rather good. I enjoyed that a lot.
And as you saw, I don't know if anyone else saw, I retweeted your initial clip of you. Oh, Riddler's Revenge is great, and I was like, yeah, it is. I'll retweet that. And then I watched the entire video, and I had to retract my retweet as he stated his awful B&M invert take yet again.
Yeah, it's not an invert.
Oh, yeah, B&M inverted coaster.
Floorless. But it inverts kind of the same. Anything with horse collars. B&M horse collars.
Are you talking about Riddler's Revenge?
Yeah, that's an invert. But then the one right next to it
You're
is
talking
B&M.
about Batman, the Dark Knight coaster. I was talking about the fact that the Riddler Revenge post that you made when you were like, oh, it's so great.
Yeah,
at the very end, you said, I'd take this over a B&M invert any day or whatever. And I was like, nope, cannot retweet that anymore.
You didn't really pay attention to the video. I was actually comparing the two rides side by side.
You said B&M invert at the end.
That's what I was talking about. Did I say?
You did say invert. You said, like, I'll take this over the inverts any day. Yeah. And I was like, all right, either way.
Well, I only had 3 hours of sleep. No. No, I meant like any B&M with horse collar. But yeah, I was mainly comparing. I mean, I even showed not Batwoman, Batman, the Batman coaster in the video when I said that. But yes, truth is, I would absolutely take Riddler Revenge over top of.
I'm finding the video real quick just so I can confirm it, just so you know, on air. There it is. Let's see. Let's see for real. We'll do it. This is how we'll do a trip report. So let's see if this is. We'll test this out tonight.
The new Vekoma trains are amazing, and SLCs are just a lot of fun. They're a ton of fun. Now, over here, we got a B&M. Nah. I'd rather ride the SLC, hands down. Just too much headbanging with the horse collars. I do think that the Vekoma train should have the fighter pilot handles, like T3 does, but I can overlook that. So, yeah, definitely SLCs with new trains. Way over top of B&Ms with old trains.
Okay.
So I'm about to piss off
Okay. Well,
here.
B&M with the old trains. You said that opinion that you've shared on the show before, when it has pertained to inverts before, that's I couldn't retweet it. I was like, that's a terrible take, so I had to retract it.
It's the only take.
It's the only way.
Joker was stupid fun there.
Oh, yes,
on the one side, the other side was terrible. I saw the most amazing thing happen. I am not kidding either.
Okay.
I saw somebody literally go and sit down on the coaster with a cup of soda. Not even a bottle. A cup, a paper cup of soda.
I believe it.
The operator's face was spectacular. She had to tell her to, like, Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I was in the brake run area waiting to enter the station again, cell phone came flying down from somewhere above and like landed in the station. But yeah, so I mean that's really
Someone was trying to get your number, Bob.
yeah, I don't think that was going on at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, those are fun. I just the most recent one I was at was a Discovery Kingdom, and actually I think I told this story, but we rode it like 6 times in a row. We kept riding it, and the operators were like, you're good to go, keep going, keep going, keep going. Timmy had to tap out though. Not me, who's typically prone to motion sickness from spinning too much. Timmy. I thought that was kind of ironic. But yeah, those are so fun, and that New England one is really good as well. Did you get to do Harley Quinn, the Giant Discovery? Right.
We did not.
Joker. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I mean, it's the same as the others.
Yeah. It is essentially it's the same thing, yeah. But it's still a fun ride. I still enjoy it. I think that might have been my first one though when I rode it. That might have been why I love that one so much in particular, and that's the one that sticks out in my mind. It's because it was my first, I believe, of the giant models. But yeah, that sounds like a great trip, Bob.
It was a really good trip.
Yeah. So overall, what was your favorite park? Is it Compounce, New England?
Yeah, I actually do. I think Lake Compounce was probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Six Flags New England was just Six Flagsy.
Yeah, that's it. Did you do Houdini?
No, it was closed.
Dang.
Oh, I should mention Tomahawk though. Holy
Oh
crap!
my God, I hate that ride. I hate that ride. That is my least favorite amusement park ride of all time.
I actually kind of enjoyed it, but oh my God, I was not expecting that many G's to be pulled from. Like it feels like you're on a roundup. You're spinning so fast. It's stupid.
I hate that ride. So what happened? The only reason I rode it is because New England at the time had an awful weather policy, and I'll say this to this day. They were like, oh, there's lightning and thunder in the area. I looked on multiple radars, and it was like 50 miles away. I'm like, how are these people closing? Like, they closed everything except Tomahawk. Tomahawk was open. I'm like, so you have this big steel pendulum ride open, but we can't operate Wicked Cyclone or whatever. So I went to ride Tomahawk, and I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And I was so pissed getting off that ride. I'm like, the one ride that's open sucks balls, and I was so mad. I could not have been more upset with that. I wanted to die. Whew. Yeah. No, I can't believe you brought that up. I didn't even think about that ride.
I enjoyed it, but I can certainly see why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
it started spinning really fast, and I'm like, no.
Oh my God, I was not expecting that. Holy crap, when that started spinning.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say about that ride, Huss rides generally, like, you think of them as like these. I mean, in a sense, like what you think of Huss rides is they're kind of like the B&Ms of flat rides. It's clear to me with that ride why Huss rides isn't a thing anymore, really, because that was the jankiest ride.
Yeah.
But Huss is like, you think of all the Huss.
That ride is cracked, to put it that's what that ride is.
But like every time it hit the tire drives, you just felt it.
Yeah.
Like you just felt it engage.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
But like all of their pirate ships are like these smooth, like well engineered machines that just work forever. And like, that was the first time that I actually rode a ride manufactured by Huss that like you actually felt like, okay, if this is where they went. Yeah. I mean, like, even the top spins, like all of the top spins are so, I mean, yes, they were a little more maintenance heavy because, well, they were basically deadlifting a whole bunch of weight.
Yeah.
But like they were all just smooth movements and like everything just worked.
It was like
and-
methodical, yeah.
Yeah, like everything was just like engineered so well, and that ride just did not feel engineered that well.
I agree. And that's why one of the many reasons I did not like it. Also that and the fact that I felt like I was going to puke my brains out
Oh, I mean,
getting off.
obviously, like I seriously, I was not. I mean, I just was not expecting that. Like, you know, like you go places and they're like, you want to go faster? It's like, yeah, you know, the ride doesn't go any faster. They literally said that. And next thing you know, I'm like being sucked into my seat. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? What the hell is going on?
I would have shot that guy that in the face when I got off. Yeah. You want to go faster? And, no. And then, yeah, that would have been the end of his life. All right. Well, I have a bit of a recap for those of you interested in Halloween events. I attended Hallow Scream at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and was greatly disappointed. I'm just gonna preface my whole recap with that because
Wait, SeaWorld did something that people weren't pleased about.
yeah,
What?
yeah, and I'll tell you guys why. So the houses this year they're offering seem great on paper. I mean, really, they do. Witch of the Woods is their headlining house, and they have a whole story behind it. They have a character that's kind of the mascot. It's this witch. That's kind of like on all of their marketing promotional material. So you're thinking, oh, that's going to be a big part of this event. No, it's literally the house is it. There's no other really mention of it throughout the event, which I think typically is cool that they do that. Like they'll have the witch throughout the park, or you know, in past years they had a puppet master. They had the Lady of the Gardens way back in the Dark Side of the Gardens era. So they've done things where they've kind of implemented the character throughout the park, and they didn't really do that with Witch of the Woods. And the Witch of the Woods house literally is, I don't know if, oh, Bob, I keep thinking I can talk to you about this like you haven't been. I don't know if any of you had been through Lumberhack, which is the older house they had there previously before Witch of the Woods, but Witch of the Woods is literally an overlay of Lumberhack. They just threw it on top of Lumberhack. So there's no change really from the motion you're going through the house. You're going through the exact same pathways. I mean, it's generally it's the same house, which sucked. I was really hoping they would change some pathways up, make some different scares. I mean, it was pretty much the same scares, people hiding behind some of the trees and so I just wasn't impressed, which I've heard the Tampa Bay one's good, so I'm looking forward to that. We had Killarney Diner, which is a new house as well. That was actually the best house of the night. That was a fun house. It was really greatly staffed. I was really surprised, especially in this era of COVID, and you know, staffing's been an issue for some of these parks. And you think social distancing? No, I mean they were packed in there. I mean there was people. They had this scene where you're actually in the diner, and there was a considerable amount of actual actors in there. There was like guests that were supposed to look like patrons of the diner, and then there was the monsters. I thought they did a good job staffing it. It wasn't necessarily the most scary house I've done before. Not even top 10, 25, really. It's not really a scary house, but I thought it was themed really well, and I thought it was staffed very well, so that was impressive. Nevermore was an Edgar Allan Poe house. I don't really understand the theme of the house. It felt more like you're walking through a museum. It was an odd experience. And then you have Circus Sinistra, which is a returning favorite. A lot of people like that house. And then Dystopia, which was not a favorite. I don't know why they brought that one back, but they did bring back Dystopia. And I won't really explain those houses because most people have probably done them before in the past. And then the territories were the same as always. Ripper Row in England. And then you have the awful, I don't know why they keep bringing back this scare zone, Gardens of the Souls. That's an Italian, it's supposed to be kind of like, it feels like they're trying to do like a Day of the Dead Cinco de Mayo thing. And I'm like, well, this is Italy. This isn't really Spain or Mexico or really Latin America. I don't know. But that's what they're going for, kind of. Yeah, it's an odd one. Meat Market was a new one they did this year, which was interesting. I thought that was a good one. It reminded me kind of what Kings Dominion used to do. They had a house called Slaughterhouse, excuse me. It's called Slaughterhouse. Thought that was good. Hexed Hollow was in Rheinfeld in the Germany area, and that was themed around witches, but it wasn't really the witch of the Witch of the Woods. Like that would have been a great tie. Like, hey, you're in the Witch of the Woods area, and we have a Witch of the Woods house. I thought that would be cool, but they didn't really play off one another like that. And that's a scare zone that I've always thought lacked. That area of the park is just they don't set up facades, they don't set up anything really for the actors to hide behind. It's just literally the actors are walking around in the Rhinefeld Village, which it's kind of an open area. I mean, you have like the fountain there. Yeah. You have there's nowhere for these guys to hide, so it's not really a scare zone. They're just literally like, oh, there's a guy walking up to me right now. He's a witch or he's a dark magic user or whatever, and that's it. Like it's not scary. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I really think when you utilize props and little caveats for you to hide in, it makes the scare zone actually a scare zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think even as somebody who doesn't really get into this stuff, even I know that you can't really do scare zones in a big open area. It just doesn't
work. Unless you are willing to set up facades and props. Yeah, that's the only way you can make it work.
Well, yeah, but then that makes it not such an open area though. So like that's kind of the point that I'm saying. I mean, unless you have the scare actor has to have devices or something that just you're not expecting, like some kind of loud noises that they can make, and but then even then it kind of it only works for a little while.
Indeed. So, lastly, I saw a show, and the show I have always been an admirer and a praiser of the entertainment department at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, but this was possibly one of the worst theme park shows I've seen recently that I can think of. It was really bad, and you might go, oh, well, it's because you don't like pop music, because that's what this is. It's called Phantom of the Fest House, and it's a singing competition, and they bring in, I don't remember their name. They're playing off of modern day pop artists, like, oh, it's Taylor. I don't remember the name. Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift.
Taylor Bybee.
Yeah, Taylor Bybee. Taylor Bybee came in and sang for us. He did a little dance. Now I can't remember. They were using like these subtle names that were like Taylor something that obviously was kind of Halloweenish. I can't remember the exact names, but they had them come in. They had Billie Eilish. They had Taylor Swift. They had Beyonce. These artists came in, did their singing, and it wasn't that I'm not a fan of pop. I'm not a particular fan of modern pop, but I could enjoy the show still. It was that they just weren't really good singers. I'll be honest. It was not like, aside from the fact that I don't love modern pop, the show wasn't, even if they'd gone up there and been like, hey, we're singing the Beatles or Led Zeppelin or something, I still would have been like, nah, that was terrible. So, yeah, I was very disappointed with that. And I didn't get to see Monster Stomp or the Skeletones or the other shows they had to offer, but that was a disappointing fact. So the event, in essence, disappointed me this year, as I stated. It was a very disappointing event. I felt like they half-assed it because they're doing rather well, and they're like, hey, we don't got to put effort into this event. People will come. It's a Halloween event. People are ready to get back to Halloween events. They haven't been to one in a couple of years.
Why spend money?
Exactly. I think they might be going in that direction, and that's kind of sucky. It's a sucky direction. But yeah, I was not a fan of Hallow Scream this year, which I'm hoping will change when I go to Hallow Scream at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, because apparently that is the better event, at least this year, So I'll be in Tampa in 2 days from the recording of the show, so by the time you guys listen to next week's episode, I should be able to provide somewhat of a comparison between the two. So there's that. That was my Hallow Scream experience. That is definitely
James is slowly descending down the SeaWorld sucks hole. He's going to catch up with me eventually.
I hate to be so negative and so critical of an event I've loved my whole life, but
I mean, I hate to be critical of parks in general, but I am, and when they have to be, and like, SeaWorld, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the weekly poll for this past week was, what color should Phantom's Revenge be and why? Most people didn't really answer the why. But I guess it's kind of hard to explain why you chose. You just think it looks good. A lot of teals. I'll just say that right now. A lot of teals. A lot of stick to the traditional color.
Yeah.
We did get an odd one. a maroon. Someone thought maroon would look good. I thought that was a different take.
It's interesting.
We did get some purples. I guess people were obviously sticking to the two options that they gave us, but there were a considerable amount of purples. More teals, thank God, at least in ours. So I don't have to bash you guys too much. We got a yellow. I thought that was interesting. That would look very odd, depending on what shade of yellow you're going with. I don't know. And then you have, I don't know, you have steel curtain right there. That's the black and yellow.
Yeah.
Would that be too much? I feel like that'd be too much.
Yeah. I think that would be too much. Yellow. Yeah. Because then people can't say, I want to go ride the yellow one.
Yeah, exactly. They got someone responded with magenta, so that's kind of a lighter purple. And that was our responses. So yeah, mainly teal, mainly purple, that maroon one I said, and the magenta and the yellow. So I would honestly, I still stick to my teal stance. I don't think there's a color on the color wheel that could really replace the teal for me and look just as good and feel just as natural.
Yeah.
I don't know. It really is an iconic coaster now at this point, and it can't be anything different than green. Or teal in my mind.
You know what
Greenish teal.
like? The only thing that keeps going through my mind is and probably most of our listeners will not understand, but I'm going to say it anyway. I am waiting to see if Pittsburgh Dad does a video on Phantom's Revenge turning into the Ravens colors.
Oh, man.
Because that could be a pretty hilarious video.
Yeah, they have like the indigo purple and the yellow, so that would be good. Got the Ravens down there, Kennywood Park.
That was more New York, I think. Your accent was a little more New York there.
Yeah, as much as I have family in Pittsburgh, I haven't really perfected that accent. Yin's going downtown. I can't. I mean, that's the best I can do.
I mean, that's more like it.
Yeah, that's
the right wording.
That's the gist.
Yins.
Yeah, you can use yins. I had the greatest sweatshirt of all time. I'm so mad. I lost it at a park, I believe. It was a Pittsburgh Pirates jacket, and despite your feelings towards the team, this is when they were actually good. This is like a few years back when they were like the second in their division. It said Yins wins, and it was a Pittsburgh Pirates shirt. I like that. That was a great shirt. Yeah, and I lost it. I'm so mad. I mean, to this day I would still wear that jacket. I loved that jacket, but nonetheless I lost it. And that about does it for this week's show. The weekly poll for next week is pertaining to the Golden Horse Entertainment Company. Again, we're talking if their involvement in the U.S. and European market will force them to improve ride design. So improve ride design meaning improve actual rideability. I've heard most of their coasters are quite rough and odd.
Although I have heard that some actually were getting better. But
but also
overall,
we'll improve that. We'll also improve their originality. So take that into mind. Do you think that being involved in a different market will differentiate their rides a little bit more? And that'll be answered by going to coastertalkpodcast.com/poll or following us on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Coaster Talk Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coaster Talk Podcast. Bob actually has a video coming out soon for us from the New England trip, so that'll come out here soon. I'll be posting. I know I say that quite a bit, but I plan on getting to it here soon, getting some footage up, getting some reviews up, getting back into that rhythm. So yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coaster Talk Podcast. Contact us, coastertalkpodcast.com/contact, or email us, james@coastertalkpodcast.com or bob@coastertalkpodcast.com. Remember that kind of competition that we're having, that little opportunity we're having for you to earn some prizes here if you leave an audio file with the show. And again, it can pertain to literally anything as long as it's coaster related and it's somewhat short. Don't send us a podcast because we already got one of those. But I keep it like a couple minutes long. We'll play it on the show. So email james@coastertalkpodcast.com/ or bob@cushtalkpodcast.com. I think I said that already, but just want to I want to reiterate. And then you can also go to cushtalkpodcast.com/shop for any Kosher Talk Podcast merchandise that you may want to acquire. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of the show, and we will see you next week.
Yay.
Suck it, Mike. We did it.
We did it, Mike.
Suck my
That's 2 weeks in a row, right?
balls. I know. 2 weeks, Mike.
2 weeks in a row, Mike.
You can't be slacking on us anymore. Pam made it, everybody.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. That is an amazing feat, Pam. From now on, you can say you've made it through an episode of Kosher Talk Podcast. Good night. She said, that's amazing. She said, I made it. Good night.
Good night, Pam.
I was going to tell you. Oh, I wanted to tell you that off the air, though. So.
Is Mike still there? Or did he leave us?
I think he left. I think he saw that we were going to finish before 12. He's like, I got to skedaddle before they call me out. I don't understand the maroon response still. That was an oddly specific color choice. Why maroon? That's like 49ers colors. They were rivals for a while. In the good old days when the Steelers used to win all the Super Bowls, and 49ers were rivals. Pam, I don't know. I don't recall you making it through another one, so I don't know if I can take your word for that, but we can at least confirm you've made it through one. How about that?
Yeah. Did she make it through last week's?
I think she might have not realized we were recording, because we recorded on a different day last week, didn't we?
No. No, it was Thursday.
Oh, yeah, because that was no.
Yep.
That was
was
the night
Thursday.
before you, but yeah, you did the, you had to, yeah. I was wondering why you were so insistent on, like, getting done quickly, but that was because you had to get to New England the next day.
Yeah.
I was like, that was your wisdom teeth one? No, because that was the one we did on Wednesday 2 weeks ago. Or
No, we did that on Friday.
yeah. I don't know, Pam. I don't remember you making it through. You gotta like let us know that you're still there. That way we can confirm it each time. You gotta make like a little sticky note, like with a little list of the episodes Pam's made it through.
We need her to ping. Like every 20 minutes you have to say, I'm awake. I'm awake.
That way we can ensure your status is actually awake and attentive.
It's like a dead man switch.
Yep.
Like they have in the back room of Verbolten.
Mm-hmm. You know what they also have at Verbolten?
But
A sticker of a Zaire logo on the fridge. I don't know if you knew that. So I just wanted to...
Yes. Yes, they do.
I don't know if you know that, Bob, so I just wanted to tell you. Something I found out last time I was there, actually.
Actually, I didn't know until Pam said something.
Oh, really? She was the first one to tell you.
Except for all those other times I mentioned it before.
I don't think those count, so I think that might have been the first time. I like how Pam said goodnight and she's still here. Okie dokie, though. I'm gonna head out because I gotta pack for this trip. I gotta get to bed for this trip. So, if that's all, I mean, I think Pam's the only one she's leaving, so. Micah betrayed us and left.
Good night. Yeah.
He's probably planning on.
"Man."
He's gonna come back at midnight and be like, "Wait, where they at?"
Yeah. He's like, wait, what happened?
All right. Well, Mike, if you somehow like skip to the end of this video to find out, we made it. We made it, and we're gonna end before midnight too, just so we can really be done before midnight. All right. Goodbye.